from Matlab, there are several other mathematics languages. For instance, Mathematica and Maple, they are most used by pure mathematicians. However, for engineers, more people tend to use Matlab because the programming techniques are quite similar to the other programming programming languages, such as C. And they are popular. And also, Matlab can call symbolic or analytical packages from Maple, so we can use the facilities in Maple eventually. And also, they can perform symbolic computation using Matlab. So it covers almost all the facilities in Maple, so we can now concentrate on using Matlab alone to solve numerical problems and also symbolic mathematics problems. Apart from these commercial packages, there are several others open source packages, such as Matlab, developed by India or France. And they can be freely downloadable. And also OK and other packages if you like to use, you can download them freely. However, the standard of these languages are much lower than Matlab. And the advantage of them is free and also with open source. So let's summarize what are the advantages of Matlab language. The first is they are easy to program. For instance, you can use high-level commands such as EIG to find eigenvalue. It will replace about 500 statements in C. So it is easy to program and highly integrated. Also, it has numerous different toolboxes for different applications, for different engineering areas or even non-engineering fields. It can be used to solve symbolic problems. Apart from all these, it provided the simulation environment called the Simulink. You can draw diagrams using Simulink to perform simulation. You can even to have, for instance, the mechanical, electrical control and this kind of blocks under the same framework to perform simulation to these problems. And this is not possible in other languages. So Matlab has its advantages in all engineering disciplines. So let's talk about the outlines of this book or lecture. First, I will explain something about this book. So what is our philosophy to write such a book? I have mentioned before, there are quite a lot of Matlab manuals can be freely downloaded from Matlab. So why we should write a book like this? So in this book, we can express or present the mathematical solutions in a more systematic way. However, in the manuals, they just show they can solve a kind of problems. But in this book, we are trying to address mathematics in this way, in the formal mathematics way. First, we have to, if we talk about a topic in mathematics, then we will try to find whether there is an existing Matlab code or not. If there are, we will introduce how to use them directly. If there is no existing Matlab code, then we will write something to solve this kind of problem. So we are addressing the mathematics in a mathematics way rather than demonstrative way, as in the mathematics. Also, the eventual target of this book was try to avoid mathematics, just to understand what the mathematics formula means, and then we are trying to get the solution not spend too much time on the deep mathematics. Eventually we want to avoid the mathematics and get the problem solved. So if you learn this course, I think you can enhance your problem solving using Matlab. Normally for certain mathematical problems, we can use only 1-2 commands. It should be okay. And also about the textbook. There are twofold use of the textbook. First is to learn and recall the systematically the mathematics and teach the mathematics in another way rather than the pure mathematics, where teachers in the solution way, how to get the solutions of mathematical problems. The other purpose of this book is to use it later if you use it as a textual reference. If you find a certain problem, then you do not know how to solve it. You may go back to this book and find similar example and see how to solve it. Then it will remind you something to solve your own problems. So the books can be used in these two ways. And the coverage of this book is like follows. First, I give a brief review of development of Matlab and other computer mathematics languages. And second part, in the second chapter, we will concentrate on the programming fundamentals of Matlab. Just tell you some essentials how to program in Matlab. From very beginning, the data types, and then the control flows or something like this, and how to write the Matlab code, and also how to visualize the data you obtain, like 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional. And these are the basis of this course. And later on, we will go into different branches of mathematics. In chapter 3, we will explain how to solve calculus problems, limits, derivative, integral, series, something like this. And you can solve them easily without have to memorizing different kind of skills. Just memorize several commands. You will solve almost all the calculus problems. And in chapter 4, we will explain linear algebra problems. And the coverage of this part should be much more than the ordinary linear algebra course. The traditional linear algebra course always bring to you simple mathematical problems. If the problem is too complicated, if it requires heavy computation, they will neglect this part. However, once you know how to use Matlab, you can solve them directly, and you can solve even higher problems. And in chapter 5, we will talk something about integral transformation and also the functions of complex